What's up again, guys? It's your boy here, Rod, with another video of Entry Thursdays. Today we're going to be giving you guys some more information on how to find key levels in the market. Okay, so without a doubt, let's jump right into it. So as you guys can see pulled up on my screen here, we're going to look at GBP USD. Okay, now first thing you want to do when you're looking for key levels of where the market could possibly reject, you want to go to the higher time frames. For example, like the monthly, I want to start off there, and then you go down to the weekly. Now, some things to keep in mind when you are writing off the key levels. You want to use zones, so everything is zone based. Okay, you don't want to use just one line, because when you look at the markets, you have to look at it as a zone. You know what I'm saying? Because it could possibly look like it broke support or resistance level, and it's actually respecting that whole zone, but you thought it broke and now it threw you off. So you want to always look at it as a zone base. So to begin with, first thing we're going to do, let me just delete all this other additional stuff that I had on the charts at one point in time that I no longer use. Okay, all right, cool, everything's gone. So what we want to do first, we want to get out the rectangle, right? And we're going to highlight this zone here. So keep in mind, guys, this is on the monthly time frame. Key levels are your highest point and your lowest point in the overall area that you're looking, okay? So as you guys can see here, I'm drawing this key level here in a very high place or a very low place. So I'm gonna give you guys the low spot, as I already had drawn the higher spot. So let's get this drawn out here. So you guys can see, you want to keep it very neat, be very meticulous when you're drawing these rectangles on the charts, because they can help you keep track of what's going on in the market and kind of give you an overall view of what's going on. Okay, excuse me. So we already drew our key levels. Again, you can mark it up all the way up until here, but we don't want to go back to 2013, as you guys can see here, 2014. We want to stay, relatively current. So relatively current right here, as you guys can see, we got some data from back in 2017 all the way until now. As you guys can see, that the zone here was heavily respected. Now let me get out some of these risk to reward so you guys don't get blinded by it. And this is a lot of risk here that you see I'm taking, right? Lot of risk. That's all we do in the market every single day. We look for the best risk and put our dollar where we think it's worth it. And if you're not doing that, then you're really missing out on the market, because when it comes to trading, it's very important that you understand your risk and how much you can possibly extract from the market, because the only thing you guys can control, guys, is your risk, how much you're risking. Okay, so I don't want to dwell too much about that, because I'm showing you guys key levels today. So we already did it for the monthly. Next, we're going to go down to the weekly. Okay, and as you guys can see, we already have our key level zones here based on the high points and the low points of the overall area that we're looking at. Okay, so now we're going to go down to the weekly here. Okay, and as you guys can see, all right, and I'm not making this up, every time it comes to a certain level, like it did here, boom, it respected that level. It respected that level, and it respected this zone here. So everything is being respected, as you guys can see how we drew it from the higher time frames, and now we're looking at the lower time frames, which gives us more data. You guys can see the clarity of what's going on in the market. Okay, so I'm gonna just break this down a little bit more in detail for you guys. Let me hide this real quick. All right, so our next zone, I like sometimes, to mark off two zones, especially when you're in an area like this. So this could be one here. All right. And this is what I would consider the major zone. This is the major key point. Why? Because as you guys can see, when it touches this area here, it reject. It touched again, it reject. It touched again, it reject. It touched again. What could possibly happen? A rejection. So these are the key levels that you guys want to pay attention to when trading, because when it gets into this area, your ears are going to go up and it's going to say, all right, cool. I know that in this area it could possibly reject, so I can be possibly looking for a sell opportunity here. Granted that the market might be still giving buys, but you have in the back of your mind that because you're in a key level area, okay, that you can use this to your advantage. All right. So that's the weekly key area. A secondary area I would highlight up here is the box above it. Why? Because as you guys can see, some of those wicks did extend out to this other area. So these are, areas that you can just possibly keep your eye on. You could double up on those key levels. Just to keep in mind, if it does break out past the second box, then we know this trend is no longer going down. But as you guys can see, it's been respected heavily 1, 2, 3, but not 3 times, 4 times. Okay. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to go down to the bottom. And as you guys can see here, we don't even need to really draw, a weekly, key level there, because as you guys can see, we, based on the monthly key level that we drew before, how it's respecting this area perfectly. Okay. And as you guys can see, it touched here, came down to this key level here, boom. And remember, this is the monthly. So monthly, this is how it works. Monthly is the strongest level. Okay, so if it touches a monthly, it's very strong. More than likely, it's going to reject. That's the strongest level, key level that you can look on is a monthly. Secondary is the weekly, as you guys can see. And, I'm only showing you what I'm seeing here, so it makes sense. Okay, as you guys can see on the weekly, which is our secondary, it rejected that 1, 2, 3, and 4 times. Okay, so sorry guys, I'm still at work teaching you guys. But these areas are respected highly. Now, all these areas are meant to do is once price reaches these areas, your ears, like I said before, are supposed to go up, and you're supposed to be kind of looking to see what could possibly happen in the markets. Okay, so again, how to draw your key levels. You want to go out to the higher time frames like we did, like I showed you. You want to start on a monthly. Okay, then you want to go on the weekly. Okay, you can also go on the daily, but keep in mind that the monthly and the weekly is going to be your best bet. Why? Because this is the highest time frames that they're offering, and this is the more respected, that has more credibility, as we should say, that if it gets in that area, that something could possibly happen. You can possibly look for it. So the higher the time frame, the more than likely you can expect some kind of rejection. Okay. Now, daily 4 hour, you can make those, key levels as well. But like I said, try to keep it on the monthly and the weekly, because, once price gets at that area, you can expect big things to happen. Okay. So I'm going to actually zoom in on, what happened here to give you guys an example of what happens once, price reaches a key level, right? So I'm going to highlight this here, and then we're going to go down to the lower time frames like the daily. And as we can see here, what happened, and guys, again, the best way to, kind of, highlight an area is to use the ellipsis tool and kind of highlight that area so you don't get lost, because you can easily get lost. Okay, so as you guys can see, once it came up to this weekly key level here that it touched before, what happened? Just like all the other times, it got rejected. All right, and we can possibly expect, because this level of, I'm just not going to stray away from the subject too far, but this level right here was broken, this level of support, and now we can see that the pullback is happening, and we could possibly look for an entry to get in to continue coming back down to where this monthly key level that it continuously goes to once it's respected this weekly. Okay, so as you guys can see, it respected this weekly and dropped to this key level 1, 2, and possibly a third time. Okay, so I hope you guys took this information into consideration. I'm sorry, my phone was ringing there. The guy from work was calling me, but I hope you take this information to the best of your capability. I'm going to keep making these videos, giving you guys free games. So I want to thank you so much for, keeping the time here on Entry Thursdays with me, okay? Thank you so much, and I'll see you again.